Your call has been.
Shit went right to voicemail for some reason.
We are back.
Yeah.
We are back. Oh my god, I got my progressive friend Toby. Oh, sorry. Fuck.
Oh, come on, you asshole, man.
Your name is Toby.
God, you should just be truthful with everybody about who you are. I'm sorry.
No, because
Anyway.
I just got operation today. And
I was just kidding. His name is Dave Wright. Dave Wright.
Oh, you jerk.
What up, dude?
What up?
He's a progressive and he's a
Sorry,
he's a scum.
I want
Sorry.
to open a business. I don't need anybody attacking it.
Yeah. See, he's a real personification of what we are already dealing with, Paul. And he's also a fellow Guinea. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was just gonna. I don't know why.
Oh, come on.
I don't know why I threw him on here. He was, but I wanted to finish up with Paul. We had. Can we finish? Can you kind of take the back seat on this, David Wright, please?
Yeah.
Let me.
Your name is Toby.
Oh, come on. It's Kuta Kente.
My name is Guido Americano. Your name is Toby.
You've heard that your whole life, haven't you, Tobe?
No.
Oh.
I don't even know why you call me. I don't even know why you call me that.
I just decided to. It's a joke. It's an inside joke where I call somebody who's an AKA is Dave Wright. I call them another AKA. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but now you got. I don't need like Antifa or anybody else that disagrees with me attacking a business when I open up one.
Oh,
Antifa. They're the fucking
or whatever they're called. No, I mean or anybody that disagrees with me. It's a really toxic society right now.
It is.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to speak your mind and have a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or have a job or have a career.
Paul, are you're not on the speaker, right? Speakerphone? No.
No, I'm on a regular phone. Can
Okay.
you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yes.
What's with our audio problem?
Put your volume all the way up.
Okay.
Is your volume all the way up?
It's up.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what it was.
I guess. I don't fucking know.
That's what it was. Isn't that great? Now we figured it out.
I just dialed the number because, getting booted off because of shit audio problems in mid-story isn't a good look for the Bobby Pickle very professional fucking podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. So let's continue because you know what? Listen, Dave Wright, shut your mouth, you progressive troll. That's what he is. That's
not very nice.
You just listen to our conversation. You can talk a little bit. You're my co-host right now. You're riding, you're
I'm being censored.
Shut up. That was already too much.
Exactly.
Dave, do you sleep with your Hillary doll next to you?
I didn't vote.
Before you go to bed, do you say good night, Hillary? I'll see you tomorrow.
I didn't vote for her.
Good. Me neither.
I don't like her. I don't vote for people that are corrupt politicians.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, buddy.
No, there's gray areas where the progressives and the new conservatives, the punk rock conservatives like us, where we do see eye to eye on little things, weird things, you know?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I don't understand how those progressives could look at a group like the Proud Boys or look at like the new right or most of the new right anyway, and say, you know, oh my God, get them, total Nazis, destroy their lives, they're the worst people ever. When it's like, you have a group of people who are like, we don't like racism either. We don't like the establishment. We don't like, and they're like, yes, you do. Yes, you
Well, I mean, but I tell you what, I did a few shows with Bobby, and I haven't said that to one person. It's because it's labeling. That's what establishment wants.
Well, because that's the other thing, and we were talking about that earlier. You know Bobby, so you know that, hey, if you read some fucking 24-year-old dickhead in the New York Times says Bobby's a fucking asshole, or the Washington Post says, oh, Bobby's a Nazi, you don't go, oh, I didn't know. I've known the guy 20 years. I didn't know he was a Nazi. You go, I know this guy. He's not a fucking Nazi.
Dude,
what, are they out of their goddamn minds?
Dave Wright, did you ever think that? Did you ever think that about me?
No. No, I'm not. That's why I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because I'm just trying to say that it's just the establishment has us fighting with each other and whatever. New York Times, whatever, or any of these establishment newspapers, you can come get money and go in there and write whatever you want. Have them write whatever you want.
You certainly can.
So it's all bullshit. It's like you got freedom of press, but there's no consequences.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, they can say whatever they want to hurt the American people, but nothing ever gets done about it.
Well, I think that's like what Trump was talking about, and people were saying that meant that he was against the freedom of the press. And he wasn't saying that. He was saying you shouldn't be able to just, with impunity, smear people, and they have no recourse to defend themselves, because unless you write about how they're responding to you, there's really, or sue them, and, you know, they're worth billions and you're worth nothing. So who do you think is going to come out on top there? There's no way to really fight them, which is what Trump was saying when he was like, something needs to be done about this fake news. And people were going, that means he wants no freedom of the press. And it's like, well, no, he's not saying you're not allowed to have a different opinion. You're just not allowed to say things are facts when they're not facts. And the press lie all the time. It's really easy. All they have to do to lie is leave out information. If they interview you and they ask you a question like, I don't know, like, are you a bank robber? And you say, no, of course, I've never robbed a bank. My God. And they go, oh, okay. And in their article, they just leave the response out and go, questions are still up in the air whether or not he's a bank robber. People are going to think you're a fucking bank robber, and that's disingenuous and dishonest.
Yeah, it's like it's legal slander.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Paul, you know what I equated it to, man? I was on with this guy. His name's Rash Bomb. He was one of these little snakes that have been trying to get me to, do a story or whatever. And I told him over the phone that he reminded me of a used car salesman, and he was completely and totally offended by that. It was hilarious. But come to find out, dude, my father is actually a used car salesman. So when I was saying it to him, I wasn't telling him like, that he's a complete and total scum or something like that. I was just saying that I know those tricks. I've seen that in action, and what you're doing right now, like, that's so blatant how you're trying to do this, try to get me to talk and say a certain thing or whatever, like just to get your story, Well,
the fact that they would sit down with a group that has repeatedly professed exactly what they are, and I've said this to many journalists, I've been like, we're not these men of mystery. If you want to know our opinion on something, we'll tell you. And like look it up. It's there. But instead of looking it up through like, oh, well, what did Gavin say about that topic? They look up an out of context quote that an Antifa website posted that the SPLC cited, and they said, well, they printed it on SPLC. It must be true. And it's like, holy fucking shit. And the fact that they'll sit down with you and say, so are you a white supremacist? Or do you hate gay people? Or, like whatever. It's like, why are you asking me that? The implication that you're asking me that is that there's this big question in the air that most people must think we're this. And people might think we're that because you keep saying it.
I know.
Like that's fucking nuts, and
they're not going to allow the real story to happen. They're not going to allow the truth.
No, what the crazy part is, sorry for interrupting you guys, but the Antifa, they're real communists.
Yes.
And they admit to it.
Yes.
Yep.
I just got a big debate on Facebook with people because they're against Tulsi Gabbard because they're all communists.
Well,
they're just. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the thing I ask a lot of progressives when they're like, "No, I like socialism, but not communism," or "I like Marxism, but I'm not like a Joseph Stalin communist." I always say, "What policies in communism do you not like?" And they never have a fucking answer.
No, you know what I asked them? I was like, where in the world has communism worked?
Right.
Or fascism, both.
Well, right. It doesn't. Fascism is just... fascism started out as a Marxist thing, and it's the same thing with Hitler, with Stalin, with Castro, with all these fuck-ups. They always start out with like this ideological Marxist utopia bullshit, and it always somehow spins out of control into, okay, well, this isn't working, but it would work if we just, I don't know, killed all the people who disagreed with us. It would. No,
they're just taking advantage of other people's misery.
Yeah, if we scared enough people into not doing this, if we destroyed their businesses, was a big tactic of the Mussolini fascists. If we fucking jail anyone who dissents, which was a big tactic of Cuba and of Russia, then maybe everything will work and fall into place just fine. And it never does, and it's never enough. They've never killed enough people. They've never silenced enough people, because anytime somebody goes, this shit isn't working, they go, oh, you're a dissenter. Okay, we got to put you away. And that's exactly what they're doing now. But the difference is they don't need to use the government really that much anymore, because all they have to do is use Twitter. Twitter, Google, Amazon, and Facebook are bigger than the Roman Empire has ever fucking been.
No shit. No fucking shit.
Hope. The Roman Empire didn't have a prayer to fucking think that they could be as powerful as those 4 fucking companies that need to be fucking broken up, which is what I've been saying for forever.
Yes, they do.
You need to have...
You know, it's funny, Bobby, I figured out a way to censor you.
What?
If I play a song, like a Disney song or something.
No, don't do
that.
Shut
down your YouTube. I'm joking.
No. The only Disney song, listen, the only Disney song, we both know it. We all know it, right? Proud of
I don't know about that. Oh, no.
I guess it's technically Disney, but I don't think it's in the movie.
It's a Disney song.
Well, if you have any big corporation like that, they'll shut you down in a heartbeat.
No, we'll sing a Disney song, but we won't. We're not going to play it.
Yes, if we sing it, it's an original recording. We're cover artists.
Exactly.
Well, even if I play Billy Ray Cyrus, they'll still do it.
So listen, talk to my friend. Talk to my friend Paul here. Okay, Dave, you're a progressive troll. All right.
I'm just an independent American.
Self-admitted, you love Bernie. You're a Bernie bro. Talk it out, guys. I'm putting you on with an OG Proud Boy. This guy's an OG. Okay.
All right.
What are all the bad things that you hear about in the news about us, Dave? Right.
The problem with you guys is that people call you fascist, and you guys don't defend yourself. Like when people call, I've been called fascist tonight so many times, or a communist, and I defend myself to the end.
Well, we've already tried.
Wait till everybody.
I know you try, but they.
It's not for lack of trying, but when we don't have a platform, it's kind of hard to fucking defend yourself.
Hey, they do the same thing to the progressives, man. If you don't go by their rules, they cut you out.
I haven't seen them doing that in mass to progressives on Twitter and Facebook.
It happened to us back in 2016. Like, if we said anything about Hillary, you'd be in Facebook jail, or they put a shadow ban on you.
For some reason, this is the first time I am ever hearing that, because I've always heard the opposite, that they really wanted Hillary, and they did.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I'm breaking up?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Plug that phone in. Make sure you're good. Jesus.
Man, I'm good. I don't know.
All right, good. Okay, good.
Okay. Because I'm walking around. But Yeah, I've never heard, because all the people who are the top motherfuckers at Facebook gave money to Hillary, and Amazon did the same, and Google did the same, and Twitter did the same. So I find it really hard to believe that their CEOs, if they're censoring anyone, were like, go after the Hillary people, unless they were like, I'll cut your fucking throat, which is what they were saying to me around 2016. If I said anything pro-Trump, I would get we'll cut your fucking throat and inbox messages of like, we're going to find out where you live and all this other fucking
toxic.
Yeah, it's rough, but I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like, that's the thing. It's like when you say you don't fight back, it's like, I don't know about that, man. I had a whole website dedicated to fighting back. It was officialproudboys.com, and I ran Proud Boy magazine, and I would respond to not every article, but most big articles about Proud Boys that had a lot of untrue things in them. I would go like literally line by line in the article and respond. The problem was that you couldn't share it on Facebook. If you shared it, they'd delete your account. So then when no one could see what you're fucking saying, and then so I would do interviews. I'd be like, great, interview me. Here's the email. Interview me. I'll do media requests. And I did a bunch of shit, like the SBS Dateline thing that turned out great. The NBC thing I set up for Gavin.
The Islamaville?
Islamberg.
Dude, tell me about Islamberg. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that whole thing that you went to the town. Now listen.
Yes.
Let me first preface this by saying I have Muslim friends. I interviewed a Muslim guy who should probably be a Proud Boy. Honestly, he's actually from the same area that Gavin is in Canada, French speaking Canada, and
I did an interview with Iran this week.
Yes, you did. You beautiful son of a bitch. Yes, you did. So actually, I guess we'll just stop at that, right? I mean,
but
there's
that's
definitely some overtones of Islamophobia. I feel like, if anything at all, it's mistrust of Islam within the Proud Boys, and I'll admit that's a little bit to it.
What I've always said, and I
not to it, but there some people, and I think that it's. Let me think. Let me how to say this. I understand their point of view, man. 9/11, bro. Come on, Well, people are in shell shock over that stuff. Still, people remember that, especially people from up north. Go ahead.
I could start out by giving my Islamophobic credentials. In 2005, there was a suicide bombing at a mess hall in Iraq. It was known as the mess hall suicide bombing. Some people who are listening right now might remember it. One of the people that was killed in that attack was a Marine named David Roaring. That's my cousin Davey, who's a distant cousin of mine. So literally, members of my family have been killed by Islamic suicide bombing. So with that being said, yeah, I have Muslim friends. It doesn't bother me to know that somebody's Muslim. I could give a fuck. But I don't have a problem with Muslim people. I have a problem with Islam, which I've said to many interviewers who usually perk up and look at me like I just messed up. And I go, am I not allowed to have a problem with Islam? If we're talking about the Catholic Church and
I have a problem with the Pope. Fuck the Pope.
Well, that's the thing.
So, like, when I talk about Muslims, I always say it's only like 10 or 15% of them that's giving the rest of them a bad name. They're not all bad people.
It's not about them being bad people, and unfortunately, whether it's 10 or 15%, what the problem with Islam, if we're going to talk about problems in Islam, there's a lot of them, is that the other 90 to 85% don't do shit about it. They don't care. They don't freak out the way Christians do, or the way like even white people do when you accuse them of racism. They don't go like, hold on, let's distance ourselves from that. They don't do that, and that I think really bothers and freaks people out in the West, because they go like, yeah, like there was a suicide bombing at the thing because somebody drew a picture of Muhammad, and the normal secular Muslim guy will say something to the tune of, well, maybe you shouldn't disrespect the prophet. And it's like, wait, what?
Or maybe a foreign country wanted to cause some stir up, and they gave somebody $25,000 to go over there and blow themselves up. $25,000 in one of them countries could feed a family for their whole life.
Whoa!
I guess, but I'm telling you, like, suicide bombing is a thing. There's a lot of
no, definitely, it's definitely a thing. It's sick people.
Within Islam, when you tell me that 25%, which means 1 in 4 Muslims in the world, including America, believe that suicide bombing is sometimes or often justified, that freaks me the fuck out. It lets me, because here's the thing, Islam isn't just a fucking religion. It's a whole political ideology. It's a whole network of like, no, you have to believe this, you have to vote for this, you have to do this, and this is the way life for everyone should be, and you should be living subserviently to Islam. That's a problem. So you were talking about
I don't know
Islam
if that's true though, because I know some people that are very chill, like, and don't.
Yes.
It's not really. There's I've been explained it's different sects, just like there's different sects of Judaism or whatever.
That is true. That is true. And there are some people that are very chill, and normally those people that are very chill, it's because they're more secular than the more devout people. The people that are chill are the guys.
I know a guy from Tunisia. The whole place in Tunisia is all chill. Tunisia's chill in general.
That could very well be. But what I'm saying is, like, normally it's like if a guy from Somalia comes here because he wants to open up a hot dog stand and he wants his daughters to join cheerleading, I have no problem with that guy. Like, good. You want to be American. You want to assimilate. And what you believe, you know, at home, as far as your religious beliefs and who you worship, is your business. That's what America's all about. The problem isn't that guy. The problem is the fact that there's a lot of other guys who come here hating America, and a lot of people who, and like I said, man, I mentioned it a couple times. I live in the hood. I live around people who come out in the full burqa, and you know, to me, it's like, you're in America. What the fuck are you doing? And it's a way for people to basically say, I reject your whole way of life.
Would you eat out of a jar of jelly beans, and you knew like 2 of them out of all the thousands in there were poison, and they would kill you?
No, but the thing is, it's not even 2 in 1,000. When you're talking about 25% think it's sometimes or often justified, that's a number that really freaks me out.
Okay.
But
you got Christians. Some Christians dance around rattlesnakes. I mean, they don't speak for all the rest of them. You know, it's like,
no, they don't speak for the rest of them, but they're also not throwing rattlesnakes at people for the rattlesnake to bite that person. They do their own little Pentecostal thing. A lot of them live in Louisiana, as a matter of fact. We were talking about Louisiana earlier. And they're not out there. Like, the people, when they go, well, there's bad Christians too. It's like, yeah, naturally, there's bad everything. But like, people are sometimes bad. It's a human thing. It's people. The problem is, whether or not there's like a radical Christian guy out there who's going to do something crazy is inconsequential, because the numbers are so small that they don't even register. Within Islam, and yes, sects of Islam and different things like that, there's a movement to do something crazy. There's no like movements in Christianity, and especially no popular movements to do crazy, violent shit onto other people in order to take over as Christians or convert other people to Christianity. And I have no dog in the fight.
But there used to be.
There used to be. What happened 1,000 years ago?
No, not even 1,000 years ago. We came here and we made all the, and this is, by the way, this is everything I'll allude to something else that we talked about in the previous conversation. It was the fact that my brothers over here, the Israelites, they believe, you know, I mean, they're talking about this, about how we came and forced Christianity upon everybody. We did do that. We came down. All the Spanish,
but you know what's crazy
is
Spanish
that to all the Indians. What?
No, the Spanish actually brought over black folks that were Muslims, and they let them be Muslims in Florida. Florida was the first state, or the first place in the Americas where black people were freed, and they could buy land and do whatever they want.
What?
Well,
yeah.
There you go. And there was also a lot of Spanish people who did some fucking horrible things. And there was also, like, and here's the thing. Anytime somebody mentions what some guy from 500 years ago was doing, to me, that's pretty inconsequential. And if we're going to play that game, Islam, and this is the truth, and I studied Middle Ages in college, was spread by the sword. There is no other way to fucking put it. They were a war culture whose whole thing was taking territory and forcibly converting people or subjugating them. That's their entire fucking thing.
But there would be also an argument for the fact that Christianity did the same thing in a lot of ways. And I'm not trying to be a total liberal here, but
I'm not conflating it. I'm saying that if you want to get into all the horrible things Christianity did, I'm with you. I'm not saying Christianity was this perfect thing. I'm not Christian.
But then that's going to turn into whataboutism.
What are you?
I am an atheist.
Oh my God, you stupid son of a bitch. I can't believe that. What? No,
I'm one of those.
That's insane. You're a proud boy who's an atheist? I've never met one. I don't think I've ever met one. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I have this real moron thing I do. It's called Think It For Myself. And just because I have a lot of friends who are Christians, and most Christians, in all fairness, have been really nice to me, Christianity just didn't answer the questions realistically that I had.
Do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in God? No, nothing.
No. Do you have? Bob, I had the same conversation with you.
Can I question? Wait, you don't believe in God either?
Who?
No.
You.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't talk. I don't try not to talk religion.
Do you not believe in God and no higher power?
I don't believe.
I didn't say that. I'm more of like the universe. I believe in the universe.
I believe in that too.
In nothing. I believe in everything. I believe in people. I believe in
energy. Human species.
I don't believe in energy. I'm not a fucking weirdo hippie with a crystal. But I'm
talking about gravity and stuff like that.
Paul. Have you seen a lot of death in your life at all?
Well, I used to work at a morgue.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
What did you used to do at the morgue? What did you do there?
I worked at a hospital. I used to take dead bodies down to the morgue, and I used to wait for them when they coded to die, so I could take them down.
Have you had anybody close to you die?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, there's something about death that makes me grasp spirituality. And it comforts me, I guess.
You're afraid of dying.
The thing with death.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
I've literally watched hundreds of people in the last moments of their life. And let me tell you what never happens. They never go out screaming or saying something clever. What they do is they close their eyes, shit their pants, and you turn into a computer on the blink. If your hard drive ever went out, it just goes like... That's what a dead person is. So when you die, you don't fucking know it. And that's how I look at it. So
you'll be dead. You'll be dead.
My whole thing is to not just enjoy, but celebrate and try and make the world a little bit of a better place while you're here. And if you want to live forever, pass along your ideas, have a family, have your own traditions. I mean, that's the thing, man. I'm not against anything. And like I said, most Christians have been really awesome to me in my life. And I think that they get a really bad rap, which is part of the reason why people always assume I'm religious, because I'm always defending Christianity and being like, actually, those guys aren't that bad. Just because people are wrong doesn't mean I think you're an idiot.
As somebody who was Sicilian in their blood, did you go to Catholic, did you ever have to be, were you born Catholic?
I was Catholic. I was an altar boy. I was a lector. I was a lector. I was an usher. And I was an altar boy. Teacher.
Yeah, you guys get confirmed?
Holy shit, you were a CCD teacher, you stupid bastard. I love you, man. I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk.
I was the most tatted up CCD teacher they had. I was a CCD teacher, and part of the thing was, I remember talking to 7th graders. I was a substitute CCD teacher. And I was talking to 7th graders, and I was talking to them about the talking snake story. And I remember as I'm like telling them what happened, like, because they were asking me questions. I answered, I was like, well, the snake at the time was talking. And as these words are coming out of my mouth, I'm going, holy shit, I'm lying to children. And it was like the first little thing.
That would put it into perspective for me. Well, why are you lying? You were lying based on what? Like your interpretation of it? Because that's what the Bible is.
No, I'm saying, well, that's the other thing. When people were like, everyone interprets the Bible different, I always go like, But isn't that supposed to be the word of God? How do you interpret the word of God? Either it's the word of God or it's fucking poetry. Oh, and by the way, I could tell you more facts about historical popes than anyone you've ever fucking met in your life.
Dude,
I am crazy.
Can I tell you?
Atheists are now, they have knowledge.
Let me tell you something. This is another thing
I'm
that's hilarious.
curious. I like it.
I know.
I like it.
Paul, this is hilarious.
Knowledge is key.
I was actually just talking about this with the Israelites again today, and we're talking about how, and this is absolutely true, blacks, African Americans, whatever you want to call them, Israelites, they know the Bible. You know, and honestly, it's every Christian sect other than Catholicism, I feel like, knows the Bible, but definitely black Americans who believe in Christianity of some form, like they can quote the Bible, they know verses. Me, I know everything about Catholicism. I know everything about I don't know about the Bible, though. Do you know what I'm saying, though? I can, like, say the whatever it is, a million Hail Marys, Our Fathers, act of contrition. I can,
When was the last time you went to confession?
I should go.
Yeah, you should go to confession. We should all go.
But especially if you're going to eat that Eucharist, because you eat the Eucharist and
you can't go to the Eucharist unless
that's a mortal sin.
Hey, we're Catholics. We're Catholics. We're baptized Catholics.
Yes,
I was. I got confirmed.
Me too.
Absolutely am. I'm confirmed.
Me too.
Yeah, let's go, dog.
But that's the thing, and I thought about this. And I was like, I actually had to think about, like, well, what would I tell my kids? Like, I don't want to lie to my kids, but I'm
going to that problem right now.
I would absolutely raise my kids Catholic.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, my kids are baptized Catholics.
I'm going to burden them with this insanity as well. I don't give a fuck. I don't.
Well,
my kids, both of my kids are Catholic.
I don't want them to be. Here's the thing. Most people, when they think of atheists, like conservatives that I know mostly, who have that whole like, oh, you atheists don't believe in anything and you're just a shit person who's negative on God. You think God fucked you over. And it's like, no, that's the thing. That's not how I arrived at this at all. Like, it wasn't a negative, like, fuck the world fucking moment for me at all. It was just like okay, realistically, what's going on here? And I had to, like, discover that for myself. And then the more I fucking, like, read about stuff and learned about stuff and answered questions for myself, I realized something. I'm like, every good thing or everything that happens for me in my life that works out is because I did it myself. It's not because I sat around praying. It's not because God blessed me on this day. It's like anytime I was like desperate and praying, I never fucking felt anything.
I do.
Like, oh, I get a wish feeling.
I have.
Well, and that's great. And and again, I'm not Mr. Oh, let's convert everyone. And for the most part,
how old are you? You're young though. How old are you?
I'm 30. I just turned 37.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I don't have any animosity towards religion. I like reading about it and learning about it. My girlfriends fucking laugh at me because I'd be watching like a boring ass YouTube video on like the 13th Benedict Pope of the fucking, and I'm like, oh, this is cool.
That's cool. I love that, dude. I am such a nerd.
Yeah,
I would totally like
Borges is cool. The Borges is awesome.
Great. There's a great book if you want to really go deep. There's a book called Caesar's Messiah, which talks about like the people who may have really written the Bible, which is something that really makes me curious.
Ooh.
Because I had this conversation with somebody where I was like, okay, so we don't know where Jesus's body is, right? But was there a Jesus? Because there's really no evidence that there was one. But I'm like, but was there a Jesus? And if we can't find Jesus, can we find his friends? So where's St. Peter? Where's St. Paul? Where's their graves? Where's their bodies? Like, I want to be a detective.
St. Peter is underneath the Sistine Chapel, isn't he, or whatever?
He's found bones for sure. they found dead guys under there for sure. They believe that he's under St. Peter's Basilica,
yes.
Which I would be really curious for them to really test that. And I want to see, okay, because if there was a Peter, so what? Was he a guy who was walking around making crap up? So that means there must have been a dude named Jesus. So what was life like back then? Because it's thousands of years ago, and I really love putting myself in that place of like, what must it have been like thousands of years ago? And I think the Bible is an awesome tool that you could read and be like, dude, this was what it was like back then. And it has wisdom in it, and it has great parables, and it has great stories, and I think that's important. I think you should know that. I don't want my kids growing up and like not knowing Jesus fed the 5,000. I want my kids to be curious. I want them to learn all that. And then I want them to figure out, come to a conclusion as they come of age. And it's like I said, I wouldn't push someone when it comes to that one way or the other. I would never discourage someone from their faith. But, I mean, I was dating a girl for a little while who was very Christian. And before I started dating her, she wanted me to come on her podcast and talk about religion, like talk to conservative atheists about religion. I said, oh yeah, I'll come on your fucking show. And then when we started getting a little closer, I said, I won't come on your show and talk about that. She went, why? I'm like, because I will fucking light you up. And I don't want you to hate me at the end of this, but where I was going with whatever I was going to do, you can't throw anything at me that I haven't heard. It's just like debating a liberal to me. No matter what most liberals say when they have the typical liberal shit, I've heard it. The crazy thing about liberals is they've never heard what I'm about to say. Because in their mind, they're like, oh, because you hate black people and that's why you don't like welfare. And it's like, no, that's not the reason at all. And then you could get into it and really unpack it, and their minds are blown that you actually fucking thought about this. To me, it's the same thing with religious people versus non-religious people or secular people, where I feel like the religious people are so rooted in the world that they're in, they never really heard all the other arguments for why. It's not even like why there might not be a God, but it's like, let's think critically about this. In all of human history, of all the things that have ever happened, when we talk about like curing disease or discovering flight, does anyone ever go like, how do we cure polio? It's like, oh, we took a little piece of the disease and we mixed it with some stuff, and when you give it to that person develops an immunity. It's like, oh, that's awesome. Well, how did we figure out flight? Magically. Oh, magic. Great. Yeah, that worked. The answer to anything in life has never been magically, ever. So it's not just like I'm an atheist because I don't like Christianity or I don't like God or something. I don't like magical thinking.
You definitely don't like astrology either, probably.
I run screaming from it. Like
you share that with our former Supreme Leader, right? Gavin McInnes. Gavin McInnes, he hates that too.
Yeah, no. If a girl asks me what my sign is, I throw her down a flight of stairs and run as fast as I fucking can. Or my standard answer is...
Your phone's breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, my standard answer is, I don't know, I'm allergic to bullshit. Which to me is what it is. Because every time somebody says what the qualities of one thing or another, or when they go, what's your sign? I go, well, if you think it's true, you should be able to tell me. And they go, oh, and guess what? It always takes them like 6 guesses. They're like, oh, you're an Aquarius? No. You're Scorpio? No. Oh, you're a Gemini? No. And then they work their way all the way, and then they go, okay, well, what is it? I'm a Capricorn. They're like, oh. And then they sit and think and go, oh, I guess I could see that. And I'm like, yeah, of course you can fucking see it. Because the attributes to all of these things are things that are in all of us. So anything that you say you are... If you say, oh, I'm a Scorpio, sometimes I have a bad temper. Sometimes everybody has a bad temper. I'm a Leo. What does that mean? It means I'm a leader. Do you know anyone who would describe themselves as a follower?
Well, no. They're the fake leaders. Leos, they want to be the leader, but the truth is the Aries is the leader because they're the first sign. And they're just like, they lead so much that they don't even realize they're leaders. Anyway.
I don't know. That sentence made me want to throw myself into a fucking...
Well, you're a crap with corn. Yeah. You're a crap with corn. I mean, that's like the worst thing you could be, I
am the worst thing you could be.
You're one of the worst things that you could possibly...
I'm a proud boy Capricorn, which makes me even a worse person. But that's the thing. It's like... every time somebody goes, well, I'm this and that makes me this. I'm like, well, there's nobody out there. It means I'm very caring and compassionate. It means I'm creative. It's like, I don't know did you know anyone who, if you say, hey man, are you creative, would be like, no, I'm a dunce. Oh, okay.
I know. All right. Okay. All right. God damn it. Maybe it's bullshit, but I really don't think so. To be honest with you, listen, to be honest with you, if I go to New Orleans, it's on my Jupiter line. Okay.
Oh, I love all the voodoo
no,
shit.
you have no idea, dude. It's on my Jupiter line. It's the perfect place for me to be.
Well, there you go, buddy.
It just like the way that the sun hits the buildings in the morning, man, over the Mississippi River. Holy shit!
The way Bourbon Street smells with throw up.
Yeah.
it's what I tell people all the time. I go, I'm a libertarian because I don't know what's best for you. I know what's best for me, and I want you to do what's best for you. But that's what makes me what would be considered, I guess, a libertarian. Because I don't know. I'm not sitting around saying I have all the answers for everyone else's fucking life, but I just want to be left alone. And I want to leave people alone.
That's basically what I would consider myself if I had to if I was in a corner and I had to actually say the word to label myself. I would say, I guess, libertarian.
Every little online test that I take says that I'm more of a constitutional conservative. And yeah, okay, cool. I'm happy with that. I don't care. Like I said, I'm going to believe and say and think what I believe and say and think. And I'm not doing it because I'm like, ooh, I want to be more constitutional conservative, or I want to be more new right, or I want to be more libertarian today. I just say my fucking piece, and whatever it is, it is. And if people go, that makes you a this, I go, okay, cool. Then I'm that.
How do you feel about war?
I'm against it for the most part, but I understand it.
Go into a different area of the house.
No, war in a different area of the house?
No, I'm sorry. It was starting to break up again.
What?
It just started to break up again for a second. That's all.
In my house. I thought you were commenting on the war.
Sorry.
I want to stay out of other people's fucking shit as much as we can. I know that doesn't mean that. Like, I know that there are certain things we need to do, but I also I'm not a big fan of, like, let's just fucking fight everyone for no reason. I mean, I had to talk, the Iranian guy I talked to was asking me about Salamundi. I'm for killing Salamundi. He was one of our generals and our heroes, and I was kind of taken aback because in my head I'm like, this guy was a fucking mass murderer, terrorist asshole. And in Iran, they're talking about him like, we can't believe you killed him. And I'm like, can you not believe we killed him? I'm like, are you sure about that? Because he was kind of a shithead, and he was trying to kill Americans and whoever else. So, I don't know. I don't weep tears of fucking sorrow for Salamundi. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, if this was an ideal fucking world and I had a magic wand, I would stay out of everybody else's fucking business.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just stupid getting into anybody else's business. We should worry about our own country.
Yeah,
like America first, you progressive retard. You should have voted for Trump. You are so stupid.
Let me explain
you
what you guys are.
You voted against your best interest.
You're conservative. You're fiscal conservatives off of Ike. Like, I know you're not going to like hearing this, but Reagan and all them Republicans, conservatives, they ruined the conservative movement.
Well,
but you guys are a part of like the Ike progressives.
What I think actually ruined the fucking conservatives, to be totally honest, is I think that fucking at some point after Eisenhower, conservatives decided, and it was a little before Reagan. I like Reagan, but he's the guy who leaned into the religious thing real hard. And I think once we leaned into the religious stuff real hard, you're alienating a big chunk of people, including the fastest growing religion in America, atheism. So that means that a lot of people who are fucking sitting around going, I don't really believe wholeheartedly in the Christianity thing, or even there's a lot more people who call themselves Christian, and they kind of believe, but they're not like jumping in with both fucking feet. They don't go to church every fucking day, and they're not praying every fucking 5 minutes. Those people are like, I don't know if I want the religious people, like specifically the hyper-Christian people, telling everyone what to do. The two things everyone always told me my whole life about Republicans were, you guys are judgmental and you're intolerant. And where all that is rooted is the religious stuff. Because the gay, like, we don't want gays to do anything bullshit. who gives a fuck about that? And that's what we all kind of came to the conclusion of around the time of Trump. Like, I don't give a fuck if two guys want to blow each other. Who gives a shit? Let's just fucking fix the economy. Let's do this. Let's get this right. Let's immigration. Let's get that right. Lock it down. All this other fucking shit. That's what conservatives really found was important and practical, as opposed to like, can we get the gay guys down the street to bang chicks? Like, who gives a fuck about that? But that all crept in because of the religious stuff. And people kept saying, you guys are really judgmental. Well, the judgy stuff came because the worst religious people are super judgmental. The best ones don't give a shit. But the worst ones, who are the people who normally seek the reins of power, are really judgmental. It fucked things up for conservatives. That's why for 20, 30 years, young people went screaming away from the Republican Party. And it was only when we had a president who, he'll mention God and acknowledge, yes, we're a God-loving country and this and that, but he wasn't making policy based on, well, I had to talk to God and pray and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, good for you. But like, he wasn't doing that. And I think that made a lot of people come back to conservatism because suddenly the judgmental people were the progressives. The people who wanted power were the worst of the fucking progressives. And the conservatives were the ones going, oh my God, let's just leave everybody fucking alone and lower the goddamn gas prices and taxes, for fuck's sake. That's a practical solution. I think that's what made people like it. And the thing that's going to make people run screaming from it are like the Nick Fuentes fucking people who think that they know it all and they're better than everyone. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't get my fucking political or religious advice from a fucking 20-year-old who's never been laid. That's just who I am. So no matter how many people out there fucking love Fuentes and this and that, it's like, consider the fucking source. This guy doesn't know shit about fuck, and everyone seemed to, he got on everyone's radar because he made an anal sex joke to Charlie Kirk. Ooh, does that get you all excited? Gives a fuck, dude. I don't think
there's a lot of ism going on in this country.
Yeah.
It's just this division. That's all it is, man. It's just sick. Like I heard you guys talking before about politicians you supporting a Republican, and he didn't want anything to do with you. And
well, you guys position, but yeah.
yeah, but it's just with that is you guys got to get rid of the establishment in your party. That's the only way to end this. The Democratic Party's got to do it, and the Republican Party's got to do it. And just actually drain the swamp. Take money out of politics. That's the only way.
Yeah, the first guy to take money out of politics since I've been alive has been Trump, who put his own money in and did not glad hand to other people for money. For the most part, he funded his own campaign. And everyone has always been talking about campaign finance reform. And the second you had a guy who actually said, fuck it, I'm doing this myself, they decided to malign him as a Russian spy, said that he liked getting pissed on, and then impeached him twice and called all his followers neo-Nazis. So that's what happens when you try and take money out of politics, because we had that guy. He was there for 4 fucking years. And then even in the second election, some might say some shady things may have happened during that election where people came out in full force to vote to re-elect that president, yet somehow some guy who never really even campaigned got more votes than anyone in history. Lucky Joe, I call him. He must be just the most charismatic guy in the world, because I don't know people who voted for him, and I live in the most liberal fucking place in the world. And everyone I talk to is like, I didn't want that fucking guy. I voted for Trump. So
I didn't vote for him.
Well, that's the thing. It makes me scratch my head. It makes me go, it's things that make you go, how the fuck did Joe Biden get 80 million votes, I wonder? Wow, it's weird that those margins kept jumping by hundreds of thousands of votes in real time. How did that happen?
The establishment Republicans did it to him. You should have never trust Mitch McConnell and all them. They got him.
Trust Mitch McConnell as far as I can throw.
No, I mean, no Trump. I'm talking about you should have never dealt with him. You should have got rid of him somehow.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, it's like Trump was the most anti-establishment fucking president in my life. He's the guy I was waiting for my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
My whole life.
Me too.
Every time me and my friends sat around and did like a thought exercise about who would you want for president, we're like, dude, why can't you just get a guy who's like really good at business, who's really smart, who's succeeded, who has a track record to get in there, run the country like it's a fucking company, cut all the fucking red tape and government bullshit.
Exactly.
And that was why I voted for Trump. I'm like, oh, that's this guy. He understands what the country is. He understands what the country isn't. And he's just a good, cool Republican guy. And he's a total outsider. Never ran for office in his fucking life. Let's see how he fucking does. Oh, it turns out gas prices are down. We're not in any new wars. This is turning out pretty fucking good for us. Oh, yeah. Chase him away with a fucking stick. Call him a Nazi, make all his followers fucking unemployed, fucking use a COVID virus thing, which is like, okay, we might need to handle this, but then turn it up to 11 and be like, no, for a year we need to be locked down, because once we're locked down, they can now do whatever the fuck they want and pass it under the guise of this is a COVID thing. And it's like, well, if it's a COVID thing, how come all this Green New Deal shit is in your fucking bill? Oh, never mind that. We give you stimulus money. It's like, I don't want stimulus money, motherfucker. I want to start a business.
Yeah, but you also got Republicans putting their stuff in there too. They're both getting everything in there.
Yeah, but at the same time, I can't blame them, because why wouldn't they? The first bill that fucking Democrats brought to the floor was something like $23 trillion, and it basically, within this bill, all it did was overturn all of Trump's executive orders, make the Green New Deal a thing, which has none of this has anything to do with COVID, like lock in abortions in Mexico City. It's like, what does this have to do with fucking anything? And then, of course, so what you're going to get is Republicans going, okay, fuck it, we're putting shit in our bill, in the bill now. And that's how you get this, when at the end of the day, these motherfuckers should have passed this shit with the quickness. If you're going to force everyone to stay home, figure out how you're going to make it up to the American people.
How are you going to give it small businesses and take care of people?
Keep talking. I got to piss.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, go ahead.
No, but that's been my whole thing with COVID. It's like, all right, if it's so necessary that none of us fucking go back to work forever and always, then you need to make sure that lightning fast, you motherfuckers come together and be like, this is a state of emergency. We got to make it right. And instead,
dude, over 100,000 small businesses shut down because of this shit, and nobody's going to help them. They're not going to. They're never going to open again. It's like they're helping out franchises,
including the place I work, that bounced at a strip club that was open for 25 years and it's done.
Oh man!
And it's like, but that's the thing. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what happens to me? Nobody gives a shit about a strip club of all things. So to me,
no. And then if you say you're from a strip club, they're gonna be like, oh, you're a scumbag. You deserve to lose your job.
Well, but that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's a small business, and at the end of the day, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that it's like, yeah, guess what? We're last in line for what priorities of what are going to open. Like, they're not going to be like, this strip clubs need to open too. Like, so it just killed it, and it's done after fucking a quarter of a century being open in the same location. It's done. They need to find like a new spot to reopen, which is not easy, because during COVID, you try getting a fucking loan. All this shit is fucked. And again, they should have been jumping on top of this shit to fix it.
Dude, it's pretty sad that Bernie and Trump agreed on the $2,000 checks.
Yeah.
That's how bad American people needed help, and they still didn't pass it.
I think for different reasons. I think Bernie never saw a spending bill he didn't fucking like. But I think Trump just realized, like, you're fucking the people and you made them wait this long. And one of the reasons why we waited this long is because the Democrats knew, oh shit, an election's coming up. If we pass this shit in August and everyone gets those checks with Trump's name on it, I mean, I don't know if you remember the first checks, but Black Twitter fucking blew up. Black Twitter was a bunch of people going, I am voting for Trump. He gave me my fucking money. I love this man, blah, blah, blah. Democrats saw that, and Nancy Pelosi said out loud during an interview, we're not about to pass a bill that's going to send out a bunch of checks with Donald Trump's name on it right before the election. She said those fucking words. That's insane, because it tells me that you don't give a fuck, that you're going to fuck the country as long as you can if it's in your interest. Like, because they pulled out all the stops to beat him, and the guy they chose was like basically a corpse for a fucking candidate. And it's like, okay, Trump didn't lose any votes. It's not like he got less votes than he got last time. He got millions and millions more votes. So it shows the country's still fucking behind him. But some other shit was going on, including let's change the way we elect people from now on.
What do you think? What do you think about Trump's future?
About Trump's what?
Future. Like, should he run again, or should somebody else give it a shot?
I mean, I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. I would vote for like a Dan Crenshaw. I think that'd be great. I think Ted Cruz.
Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
Ted Cruz, I think, really grew a pair of balls in the past 4 years.
Yeah. He's too establishment for me.
Whatever. When I first saw him, I was so unimpressed with him, and I was like, that guy's not going to be president. But everything he does is like the guy goes after it. And he knows the Constitution like the fucking back of his hand, and I was super impressed with all that. Where I was like, that guy, now he could be president. He couldn't be president 4 years ago, but I think Trump lit a fire under his ass. It was like, grow a pair of fucking balls. He's the senator who brought it to the floor and said, we have to investigate this fucking election when everybody else is too scared because they're like, ooh, it's an anti-establishment thing to say the election might have some fuckery going on. Ted Cruz was actually the one guy who was like, here's my big fucking dick, and I'm going to tell you what everyone in this country seems to know, and the Democrats are ignoring, that some fucking chicanery happened.
Dude, I know about the rigging that goes on, and Trump, the Republicans rigged them. They got him.
Well,
in the same news that prepped them, boosted them up, tore them down. They just, you notice how they stopped talking about them?
Well, like I said, one way or the other, establishment Republicans didn't want him in 2016 either, if you remember.
No, they didn't want him at all. He was going to drain the swamp and take their jobs.
He's a fucking outsider. He's a fucking outsider. They didn't like that. They wanted one of the boys. The problem is the Republicans got fucking stale for the same reason the Democrats got stale, because they work with the Republicans were working with a 30-year-old playbook. The fucking Democrats are working with literally like a 50-year-old playbook at this point. Like they act like it's 1964 and they need to free blacks and allow them to vote. And it's like, we're good on that.
No shit.
No, we need to finish with the 1950s started.
Time for
like
mentorship.
The middle class. Mentorship. You gotta get people to run that's not going to be greedy and actually want to help the American people, not just be out for themselves and make a profit.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Trump lost half his fucking wealth being president, as opposed to every other president who gained many times the wealth that they had when they left office from when they started. Trump lost half his. Trump ran with his own fucking money rather than glad-handing to, Wall Street the way Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton fucking did. So to me, it's like, when you talk about Democrat, and again, I don't understand what ideas do they have? What's their new innovative idea? It's like solar panels. It's like, I'll kick you in the face. Like, solar panels, my fucking ass. They're not.
Oh my God, yeah. Listen.
You can't talk to green energy.
Wright's a total
I get the squeak in my
David Wright is a total green energy idiot.
100%. I would love to have a Tesla and smoke a muscle car.
All right, well, great. So here's the thing. The problem is this. They got to figure it out. I would love to have a car that runs on fucking elephant farts and fucking French fries. It just isn't going on right now.
Exactly.
There's a problem we got to fix. Is instead of giving the oil companies subsidies like we've been doing, fighting their wars for them and everything, put all that money into infrastructure and like new technologities. Because we're so far behind the rest of the world.
What about
not making us safe?
What about now? Not then. Now.
Now we got to do it now.
When you say subsidies, because this is a thing that progressives like to say. Like, just like when AOC was saying, well, they're giving Amazon subsidies to come to New York. It's like, all that means, it doesn't get, people envision, because this is what progressives train them to envision, that the government is cutting a check to Exxon and sending it to them. That isn't what's happening. What they're doing is going, okay, instead of paying $40 billion in taxes this year, you'll pay $20 billion in taxes, but you make sure to cut those fucking gas prices. That's what a subsidy is. I have no problem with that, especially being that $20 billion is more money than I'll ever make in my fucking life. So if they're paying that every year, I'm cool with it. I'm good with that, especially if my gas prices fucking stay down, because at the end of the day, I worked for a tree removal place and a landscaper at one point. What did we do first thing every morning? We filled up all the machines and we filled up the truck. So our bill would be like $300. If you double the gas price, there's a big difference between $300 and $600 for a small business owner. And that means a couple of those guys working for you might not have their fucking jobs.
No shit.
But imagine this. Imagine if we had green technology and we put money into it, and then all them lawnmowers and the trucks and everything have batteries, and you wouldn't have a $300 gas bill.
Yeah, man. Imagine if we had fucking unicorns. We could fucking jump on the back.
Exactly.
But it can happen. It's happening in China. It's happening around the rest of the world.
Some
it's not happening
men
here.
see
That's
things the
part.
way they are and ask why.
China
Others
uses more
dream
fucking oil
things
than
that never
anybody.
were and ask
Yeah,
why
but they're making more solar panels than anybody else, and also Tesla moved their factory there, their gigafactory there.
Well, that's all well and good, but at the same time, so let's say tomorrow you go, okay, everybody has to use some battery engine and this and that. Great. Do you have money for a new car on hand right now to buy your battery fucking engine? Because I don't.
No, but they got to bring it down to like 20,000, 15,000. You know, I mean, they got to bring down the price on it. But the technology's not there yet with the batteries. But when you depend on capitalism to do it, like private industry to do it, it takes a lot longer. I mean, look at World War II. If we depended on private industry to get things done, we had to tell them what we needed, and they built it for us.
It also happens a lot better. If I recall correctly, Sweden didn't come up with any fucking vaccines for the COVID virus within the fucking year. Like, and that was take the hand. That wasn't even Trump going, the government needs to get in there. That was him going, we got to cut the red tape and let private industry do what the fuck they do. And then all of a sudden we have 3 vaccines now, when normally it takes 9 years to come up with a vaccine. Well, wouldn't you know who won the
crazy,
fucking
right?
pony? Capitalism.
Crazy.
If you take the handcuffs off,
but the reason why I use a different name because I love capitalism. I just don't like crony capitalism. I don't think corporations like Google. I don't think Google or anybody else should be owning politicians. That's my whole point with this whole thing.
I agree. I think.
What do you think about Tulsi Gabbard?
I like Tulsi. I don't hate her. We probably disagree on a lot of shit, but seems to be she's a reasonable, she's the one person in the Democratic Party that I can look at and go, oh, that's what a regular Democrat should be, but she's an anomaly. She may as well be a fucking white ape at a fucking zoo or something like that, because we've never seen one of her before. Because most of what I see when I go on the streets and talk to people about okay, oh, you're liberal, so what do you think of AOC? Oh, isn't she the greatest? I'm like, no. Matter of fact, she fucking sucks. And she's a fucking moron bartender. She has no idea. She's in so far over her head. It's unreal. And she's making a joke out of herself because her whole thing, it's not even policy or something. It's wishes and dreams, and then I'm a victim. That's what most of the Democrats are now. Tulsi Gabbard actually has a set of balls, and she's reasonable. She sits there and goes okay, she's pro-choice, which is okay. That's what you're into or whatever. But she's not and let's abort babies up to the 4th grade. But that's the problem. The other progressives like AOC and Bernie don't know when to stop. They don't know when to go, okay, we could all agree that, beyond the 6th trimester, it's probably a bad time to have a fucking abortion, so let's do something about that.
But the problem with the Progressive Party, the progressives, is we're a mix of all different types of people. Like I say, the progressive movement goes all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt. We're a mix-up of different people, but so, of course, AOC, right now there's a fight going on between Tulsi and AOC in the progressive movement.
Right.
Jimmy Dore's doing it. It's
Tulsi on that, but if you put Tulsi and Crenshaw in a fucking room together, I'd be on Crenshaw's side. I'd be like, you know what, Dan Crenshaw probably knows more about. I feel like he could articulate the practical solutions, which to me, that's always been the difference between being what is considered conservative and a progressive. It's idealism and feelings versus practical solutions and the nuts and bolts of what works and what doesn't work, which is why when we were talking about the religion thing, I think fucked up conservatives for a long time, because then all of a sudden you got this other different type of idealism and magical thinking in the conservative party when you're not really supposed to give a shit about that. You're supposed to go, yeah, we're all Christians. We go home, we go to church, we pray. I want churches to be open. I want people to go to fucking church, but I don't want it dictating fucking policy. And that's the thing. It's never really did before. It was actually, we were really good at keeping church and state separate until about the fucking 70s, when all of a sudden everybody, and started by the way with Jimmy Carter, and everybody wanted to jump on it and be like, yeah, the religious vote, we're the most Christian.
That's ironic, right? That's ironic.
Yeah, isn't it? He was the first born again Christian president. And then Republicans saw that and went, oh, we're more religious than that motherfucker. Let's go to the religious angle, and all of a sudden then it's like you get a bunch of these magical motherfuckers in there. I don't want magical motherfuckers. I don't want people who go, maybe your car could fucking, work with, maybe a Minotaur could carry you to work. It's like, yeah, maybe, but you know what? Until we figure that shit out, we got to fucking burn some fucking gas, dude. And while we're burning gas, in the meantime, you can't kill. It's not going to hurt Amazon to raise gas prices. It's going to hurt every small, like the landscaper, the construction worker, all those guys. It would be great if we just had some magic battery we fucking put in and everything just worked and we had free energy for everyone and everyone held hands and ate peanut butter and fucking banana sandwiches. It just doesn't fucking work like that.
But so it won't pay for itself. We have to pay taxes on it like we do for our roads and everything else.
Well, that's the thing. I'm also not a fan of, okay, so we're going to get this amazing technology, so let's tax the shit out of people even more. It's like, how about this? How about we let the private sector do what it fucking does, and make no mistake, we will get off oil when every drop of oil is sucked clean from the fucking earth. That's the only way we'll fucking do it.
Jesus Christ.
And it is
what but it's not efficient. It's only 38% efficient, and we're just getting ripped off. Even Henry Ford was thinking about different green technologies. He was even trying to fuel his car with hemp. So it's like it's been going on for a long time, and then Rockefeller made that impossible. He's like, I want people to buy my oil, and the oil industry has been doing it ever since.
Well, and you know what? And that's cool. And you know what? But whatever happened, whoever won the energy war of 100 fucking years ago is at this point in time inconsequential. We can't change what happened before. We can only do what we're going to do moving forward. And the way to get green energy out there moving forward is to make it fucking amazingly efficient. And to make it amazingly efficient, you can't just be like, okay, raise gas prices so it's $9 fucking gallon, and then everyone will be forced to do something else. Because in the meantime, in the 10 years it takes to do that, you're going to cripple your fucking country. And it's just it's a practicality. If you told me tomorrow, like, hey man, plug this cool thing into your fucking gas tank of your Jeep, it's going to cost you like $50 and you never have to pay for gas again. Yeah, I'll buy that fucking thing. But that thing doesn't exist. I wish it fucking did. It just doesn't. Like, hey man, pop this into your engine and it runs on French fries. It's like, oh cool, yeah, let's do that. But it doesn't exist. And to rebuild every engine in the fucking country and to tell people who just go, no, I just want to fill up at the pump. Okay, well, it's going to cost you $10 a fucking gallon, you fucking momo. It's like, that's not fair, especially in a country as big as ours. We're driving and truck driving. And here's the thing you have to understand about gas. Everything you have in your house, look around. It all came on a fucking truck, which means that if gas price doubles, every item that you need to buy and that you own, your Q-tips in your fucking bathroom, everything goes up. Which means that, okay, well, we could raise the minimum wage. Great, but if everyone is raised to the minimum wage, it means less people are going to have jobs. And small businesses are going to close because the guy who used to have 3 employees working for $10 an hour can now only afford 1 employee. So now 2 of those people are on the fucking unemployment line. No one's hiring because minimum wage is so fucking high. And the price of food, the price of everything has just fucking gone up. And you can't even drive anywhere to look for a fucking job because it's $10 a fucking gallon. Like,
yeah, right now, the UPS and FedEx and all that stuff, they're all trying to work deals out with Tesla and stuff like that to get all their fleet turned over to the batteries. So it's happening. We just got to jump on it.
That's great, but even those batteries, you have to plug into something, which means they have to burn something to put something into the fucking battery, which means you're burning coal, you're burning something else. So it's not if somebody pulled something out of their ass tomorrow, and like I said, if they said, hey man, instead of having a gas cap, you screw this little thing on and a light goes into your gas tank and that fuels the gas instead of having anything else, and it's cheap as fuck. I'd be like, yeah, no brainer. But in the meantime, it's fucked. In the meantime, it doesn't work. In the meantime, I have friends who have like.
This is what I always think though when I'm talking to Dave Wright about stuff, and he says these pipe dream things, and I'm like, I don't know how to enunciate it though, like you do. You really put it in perspective. No, you do. You really.
He's not. But that's the thing. He's not like being an.
He's retarded because he doesn't know from life, from real life.
Because I disagree with you.
The tires are made out of how much fucking
No,
oil?
dude, listen.
You
what I'm pissed off about.
Son of a bitch.
Listen, Guido.
What?
The America, we pump so much oil that we're exporting it now. So why do we worry about what Saudi Arabia does and what everybody else does? Well, why are we even still going over there? If we cut them off, they'll go. Everybody will be going back to the way it used to be. Everybody will be trading again. There won't be any more freaking wars or anything like that.
I would love to get everybody trading again, but guess what, Dave? Not for long, buddy, because we're cutting the Keystone Pipeline. We're stopping fracking.
But that Keystone Pipeline was for exporting oil. Is because Canada didn't want to refine their oil, so there's just a way for them to get it down there. But they're using our taxpayers' money to keep the land.
You're against the pipeline, weren't you?
It means more money is coming into the fucking country. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like when we're doing that, and that's trade right there. We don't want to refine our oil. Great, let's make this fucking pipeline, and then we get money for this. You get money. And when I say we, not the government, private industries handle it amongst themselves. Everything works out fucking great. That's what happens when you let the free market decide shit. When you try and force shit by the government mandating you have to shut down a pipeline and saying, oh, you can't frack anymore. Fracking's done. That's what we heard, right? Fracking's done. Well, that's one of the many things that's been keeping the fucking price of gas down because of the miracle that is fracking. And when you do all this and you go, okay, let's turn it all off at once and hopefully green energy, hopefully windmills pick up the fucking slack. It's like, that would be great. The problem isn't even the windmill or the solar thing. The problem is we need a battery that could actually hold the energy that's collected by these things, which is apparently a long ways away from being fucking made. So
no, actually, there's dry cell technology. I talked to Bobby about it before. There's a new technology coming out. It has to be mined. No nickel has to be mined. It's all natural materials.
Everything's fucking natural. But what I'm getting at,
it's not. It doesn't anything. No special mining like nickel and cobalt and whatever and lithium.
My point being, it has to be better than gas. It has to be better than oil, and it's unless it's just as good, if not better. And I hear that Tesla is a fucking great car. That's awesome. Well, guess what?
It's too expensive.
Old Paul can't afford one. And
me neither.
Didn't our noble chairman buy one with his GoFundMe money? Oh shit!
I believe he did because I believe he couldn't make it to Milo's show one day because he didn't plug in his Tesla and he had to sit at a fucking charging station for however long. It was
no, that was when was that? Wait a second. No, that was a long time ago.
Like
Tell me about
that.
Oh, that was 6 months ago. Okay.
I think that was part of Milo's show because I think I jumped on the show that day because they were like, yeah, Enrique was supposed to be on, but he didn't charge his Tesla. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding.
No, he just purchased one, but I'm going to have him on soon. He'll be on soon. I think I'm going to get him on with the Israelites because I want the Israelites to yell at him.
No, I think that would be terrific to hear Enrique do his Enrique smile and just go, well, let me tell you. But my point being is like, no one is against, hey, we got something better than gas, so why don't we use it? But everyone is against, hey, we don't have that thing yet, but in the meantime, let's fuck over everyone else. And by the way, when I hear that, like, oil companies make record profits, the phrase record profit doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies. You're supposed to make profits. And by the way, in the oil and gas industry, if something does come out next year, they're going to have record losses forever and always. So if they make like a 20, 40, 50,000 $1 billion profit or whatever, who gives a shit? Yeah, and then you know what? In 50 years, they might be totally out of business and everyone there might be out of a job. In the meantime, when you have like pipelines and all this other shit, all those people as of today are out of a fucking job. All the people working in like the fracking and energy industries are fucked. They're not hiring anymore. They're firing people. This is all horrible for the fucking country.
This is totally stupid, idiotic shit.
This pandemic sucks.
Has nothing to do with the pandemic. Has everything to do
I'm
with
talking about Joe Biden because
Joe Biden,
it has everything to do with we just voted in.
The pandemic has been
him and Obama turned their backs on the American people in 2007, 2008 housing crisis. He just let all the American people lose their houses.
But that's the thing. It's like, who is doing all this shit? Like why are they doing their shit? And then when you look at, when you're talking about getting money out of politics, okay, well, who's giving millions and millions of dollars to Joe Biden? Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, Google. Oh, okay. What do they have to say about Joe Biden? They have to say that you're not allowed to post about his son's computer.
Yeah.
They have to say that he's the greatest person who's ever fucking lived, and don't you forget it. Okay, what do they have to say about Trump? Oh, you're not even allowed to Google fucking Trump. Like, if you Google Trump, like, all just horrible articles about how he's the worst person who's ever lived come up. It's like,
and you have to go to number 10 to find anything good about him.
Dude, all you have to do is see that. If you're not retarded, you can put it together. Oh my God.
And then you hear about fucking, oh, okay, so what's Biden doing that Google and Amazon and Twitter and Facebook might like? Oh, he's doing crazy deals where we're going to get fucked by China, but it means that Amazon's going to get like cheaper shipping that they could outsource.
Oh, Walmart, everybody.
But that's the thing. It's like, Walmart didn't get fucked. If you raise the minimum wage to $15 or whatever, Walmart isn't going to get fucked. It's going to be the guy down the street who has like a fucking general store. He's the guy.
Well, look at this pandemic. Like the grocery store staying open and everything else closed. What's the point? I don't get it.
Right, and Walmart basically went, we're going to classify ourselves as a grocery store now, and everyone just went, yeah, okay, whatever. Because I don't want Walmart to close either. I use Amazon. I get it. Whatever. It is what it is.
Just be fair.
But what I'm saying is, when you see these companies that are like literally evil supervillains are fucking running them, and then you see who they give their money to, and then you see what he's doing, and he's doing things like fucking with oil. He's fucking with China, where he's like, we got to do, and everything has to be done for climate change. This mystical fucking climate change bullshit that here's the thing. People ask themselves the wrong questions about climate change. They just go, do we have to sign the Paris Climate Accord? It's like, okay, you're asking the wrong question. Here's the questions you should be asking. How bad is it? Can we do anything about it? And is conservation, which has never worked for fucking anything, going to possibly work for this? Because the answer to that is no, no, and no. And also, how bad is it? So is it so bad that all the water is going to fucking kill everyone? No, it's not that bad, and it's not going to be that bad. That's why we're in this period called the big freeze or the pause or whatever, because they were like, by 2014, everything's under New York City exists, and we're fine. And there's no sign of New York City being underwater any fucking time soon. Every time there's a hurricane, they're like, climate change, and it's like, yeah, hurricanes have always fucking happened.
Wow, I was there for Sandy.
I was there for Sandy, but all this shit where they're like, it snowed. Yeah, it snows every winter. All these people who get freaked out by fucking snow, I'm like, yeah, man, I live in New Jersey. It snows all the fucking time. So what? It is what it is. Like, I don't like it either. It just happens. It has nothing to do with fucking climate change. Oh, the Earth is going to be a degree and a half fucking warmer. Okay, is that really going to destroy all fucking life? Well, if the answer is no, then maybe we shouldn't just be sinking money into bullshit that comes out of my pocket and your fucking pocket. Oh, and also your business's pocket, because they're going to go, if you own a business, according to Joe Biden, you're a rich fucking man. Oh, you opened up a little fucking .com business? Oh, Bobby, you have a t-shirt business? Oh, that's too fucking bad, because that means you're rich. So we're going to tax the shit out of you.
No.
That's what they do.
Fuck that. It's bullshit.
But that's what I mean. And it's like, you look at where their interests lie. Who's funding Joe Biden? Wall Street is funding Joe Biden. As we've now seen, this is a rigged fucking game.
Can I just say something really quick? Who's
funding establishment Republicans?
Can I say something that's totally
same people in a lot of cases, but not Amazon, not Google, not Twitter.
Can I please say something that's totally unrelated, possibly maybe related, but I think that Joseph McCarthy was right. That's it.
That we should kill all Mexicans?
Joseph McCarthy was right, dude. All the Reds, all the commies are in Hollywood, basically, and they were in there before, man, and they knew that they were infiltrating. And they are the ones who churn out all this propaganda, man. You know, and that's what shapes the culture. All the circuses. What is it? What is it? Whatever. Bread and circus.
The circuses.
Bread and circus. Something like that.
No, well, but also you have to look at. I respect a guy like Trump who goes, "I'm a rich guy. I want to pay as little in taxes as possible. I hire very smart people to make sure I could use every loophole that the Democrats put in there to do, because why would I pay any more than I have to? And I like money. I want to keep as much of it as possible. I want to invest that money." I respect that over a guy like Bernie who goes, "We should be taxing people at 90%. This is fucking crazy." And then you find out, oh, yeah, by the way, he has 3 houses. Oh, and he released his tax return. And guess what he paid? The least minimum fucking possible. So guess what? Bernie, socialist, communist, vacation in the USSR Sanders, he isn't Mr. I feel charitable on April 14th. He's not throwing his money. He's not going to TurboTax. He's fucking spending as little money as possible on his fucking taxes. Same as everyone. Same as the president.
Yeah, but you can't bash Bernie for selling a couple books.
He can sell whatever the fuck he wants. I'm a capitalist. My problem with him isn't that he's selling his books. My problem with Bernie is that he's fucking selling his books, and it's good for him. But if you want to sell books, if you want to do this, he wants to rape you in fucking taxes. Well, but Bernie, I'm making a whole lot less than you are. Well, pay your fair share, you 1%er you, as I fucking drive to my beach house in fucking Vermont. Like,
yeah, but you're gonna go out to FDR. He was rich, and Teddy Roosevelt was rich. I mean, what's in to that aspect? Bernie's just a working man. He flies coach. He travels on the subway.
That's
why people love him.
He's a scum. He's a total scum. And that meme that they have of him, that meme is the best.
He's flown private fucking plenty. Gary,
you know, he's not for sale. That's the only thing with him. That's why I like him. I support. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Tulsi, but I love her. She's not for sale. I like politicians that don't take money, and Bernie doesn't.
You
so that's why.
The Trump fan I've ever fucking seen then, because that.
I was. I didn't vote for Hillary. I had hope for Trump, but he was supposed to drain the swamp, but he trusted Mitch McConnell and all them. Mitch McConnell came from Kentucky. When he came into office, a broke man in Congress, and now he's worth like $50 million. Why should a politician get paid that much money?
Well, in the same respect, Bernie Sanders not only didn't have a penny to his name, but never had a job in the private sector, ever.
But he was a mayor. But that's just Bernie Sanders. There's other.
He was in his 40s. Up until then, he never had a job.
But that's like me bringing up the argument about Tulsi Gabbard and her opinion with transgender. It's just everybody's going to disagree, but we all got to come together on the main issue.
It's the socialist thing that they do where they don't really have experience, but they think of themselves as being super smart because they went to fucking some class that told them that communism's awesome and equality, this magical...
No, communism, fascism will never work in this country.
Well, Bernie...
It would never happen.
It's great.
Bernie, if he was a commie, nobody would vote for him. Then I wouldn't support him. Then I'd denounce him.
Well, then you should...
But I got to see proof. See proof.
From his own lips, he was a guy who was fucking supporting Hugo Chavez.
To God's ears.
He just said it, but just because he went to USSR doesn't mean he's a commie. That's like me going to, hey, I went to, but just saying, it's just like saying me going to Jamaica means I smoke weed.
No, but when he went to USSR, which I didn't even bring up yet, but I will, he did it on his honeymoon when no one was going there because it was a communist shithole, but he saw it as like this progressive utopia, and he fucking went there. But this is a guy who, from his own lips, supported Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, said he was like one of the greatest leaders who's ever fucking been. That guy was communist as the fucking red in the Chinese flag. He supported Maduro. He supported fucking Castro. He fucking defended.
But that's like what I'm hearing Hillary supporters say about Trump. All the shit they say about Trump is like, okay, then I just don't believe it. You know what I mean? I just don't see it.
You don't have to. I've watched. You don't have to believe it, but it exists. I've watched Bernie talk about Fidel Castro like he was fucking the greatest guy in the world. And
but also said Trump. I heard Trump say he's going to grab her by the pussy. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean Trump's a piece of shit. You know?
One is a joke. One is, what world leaders do you want our country to be more like? And he's like, Fidel Castro. It's not like somebody on a fucking bus 30 years ago said to Trump, like, how do you think the economy should be running? He goes, I think we should grab them all by the pussy. It's like they were making sex jokes like all fucking guys do. So who gives
Yeah, but I'm not using that against Trump. I'm not shady like that. I don't hit below the belt.
It's a total false equivalency. One is, hey Bernie, where do you stand on like world politics, and who do you think is someone to admire? And he's going, Fidel Castro. He's disagreed with him.
Everybody, there's millions of Bernie followers. They all know that Bernie's a part of. He wants to just finish what FDR started. That's the Bernie branch.
There is nothing.
He's straight up FDR. He wants to finish what FDR started.
I would ask Bernie the same question I asked all of his supporters who go, hey, it's not about communism, it's democratic socialism. You go, great. What about communism don't you like? Because literally every video on YouTube on communism, all of this is comments and comments talking about how great Bernie is.
I got a Bernie Sanders T-shirt right here. Actually, it says, "Please throw
I saw that.
Please throw me out of a helicopter."
Yeah, but you know what? There's a reason why millions of people like the guy.
Yeah, because
he's not bullshitting nobody.
No, there's millions of people who are super fucking confused of how things actually work, and they have that idealistic streak in them that all communists have, where their whole idea of how things ought to work is, well, if everything was utopia, and it's like, no, our job, life isn't utopia. I hate to fucking tell them.
It's not, Dave. You like,
it's never going to be.
No, listen, like I always say, America would never be a fascist or a communist country. Never.
Okay.
I do not support either one. I never will.
I don't think.
And I seriously don't believe it's never going to happen.
Well, we're not fascists.
If he became president, it's not like he could wave a magic wand and turn the country communist. And here's the thing: socialism and communism only work on desperate people. Like, when I say desperate, I mean people who are starving and like, we need food somehow. And some guy comes along and says, "Okay, I'm the socialist guy. Vote for me and we'll give you food." And they go, fine, we'll vote for you, whoever. But that's the thing. It's like FDR, by the way, I hate to fucking rain on the FDR.
Yeah, but everybody has their flaws. I can bring up any flaw in every president.
Yeah, but some flaws matter more than others. For example,
I mean, he put Japanese in cages.
Yeah.
All right.
No, stuff like that.
Guys, we can talk all night long.
Not about the Japanese.
We can talk all night long, right? It's we already hit 3.
Dude, I just had surgery today. I feel great.
Dude, that's great. That's great.
No, I had a Euro lift.
What is that?
I'm only a Euro lift.
What is that?
I had an enlarged prostate, so they had to open it up.
Okay.
Nice. You had a hysterectomy. That's crazy.
Yeah, 42. That's the crazy part.
But hey, I feel fucking fist.
Yeah, but I feel good now. I'm starting to feel better. No more. I don't feel infections anymore.
I love that, man, and I hope that I want you to get back on your feet and really quickly.
100%. I'm my mind's there, man. I'm ready. Like, I want to run a mile right now. I feel like.
Now listen. Let's let. What I would like to do is, please, Paul. We never got a chance to talk about you and where people could find you and stuff. And like, do you have any links or anything like that, or anything you want to sell?
I think yeah. Well, here's the thing. This isn't even a true plug, because I was about to say, I'm about to announce something for the first time ever on your show. Just happens to work out, because right now, new company that I'm working with, called American Waste Creations. If you go to Instagram at American Waste Creations, or go to Twitter at American Waste Co., you could find us. We literally just built these pages this week, so we have no followers. We need all the Bobby Pickle people to jump on there. I'm about to tell you why. I'm about to start selling people's original work on there, including some T-shirts and shit. But I'm talking about movies and I'm talking about books. So my big announcement today is that it is finished. The first ever Proud Boy book will be in publication.
Wow. Are you serious?
Wow.
I am dead ass. The book within the next 90
so
days
you successfully pulled off the Hunter S. Thompson, the guy who's right behind me. You infiltrated you gonzo journalists, Tid, the Proud Boys, and then so that
I cover all the rules of the club, and I cover my experience in all
I
4
hate
years.
you. I do hate you. I
Plus
do.
years.
I do hate you.
I mean, I had to do last minute changes on it to even talk about the Capitol stuff and how we fit into that, or how we felt, or how I felt, and all this other shit. But the book title is called Kill Proud Boys, and it's mostly going to focus on how the media turned us into social pariahs. I want everyone to go to American Ways Creations on Instagram, like that. I want everybody, or follow that. I want everyone to follow us on Twitter at American Ways Co. And I want, when Parler's back up, I'm Pawl Bazil, Paul with a W, Bazil with a Z on Parler. So PAWLBAZILE. And when Parler gets it, I'm mostly going to use Parler to promote this thing. But this book is coming out, and I've been busy during COVID. 2 more fucking books are coming out right after it.
Wow.
Including a strip club book that I'm very happy with.
I'm getting a bunch
all
of...
All the worst strip club stories. It's going to be called No Refunds, but that's not as close to publication as Kill Proud Boys. So I will announce on the Bobby Pickles show, and I'm going to be back when I'm ready to do pre-orders or sell the fucking book or whatever. When I have more news, I want to come back on the show and talk about it, because this book is fucking tremendous and took like 4 years of fucking research to write this thing. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. And when COVID hit, I said, you know what, man, I'm going full at it, and I'm going to get this piece of shit fucking published. I guarantee you that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Congratulations with that.
Hey, thank you, man. Well,
hard work pays off, man.
I hope so. We're about to find out, because I right now, that's the other thing. I lost all my social media along with everybody else, so that's the thing. I'm rebuilding with this book, and also my movie American Nightmare is going to be re-released. I have other shit that's coming out, and I'm going to rebuild and use all this stuff around it so I can actually show people what I'm about, rather than just like have a Twitter account, fucking, tell people what breakfast I ate today.
Show, don't tell.
The work. Yeah, I want to show people the work that we put behind our shit. And also, it's not just politics. American Ways is going to show people a lot of different facets of creativity. Being a conservative is one aspect of my fucking personality. I also, know a lot of shit about music, about movies. I bounced at a strip club for fucking years. So all this shit is going to be rolling down the fucking hill very, very soon. I want everyone to get on top of it and, start following now, and you'll be updated on when we have pre-orders out or, anything else we're going to do. But it's I'm on the phone every day with different publishers. I just need to really pick one. And I'm between 2 or 3 companies right now to actually put the book out. But once I agree to it, it'll be out in a matter of months, and it'll be in bookstores and on Amazon for a little while, until they realize who the fuck wrote it. And so that's what we're doing now.
Well,
so
congratulations,
I
Paul.
appreciate you having me on the show, man. I'm proud to announce.
Hey, thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it, man. We got to chat again sometime.
Absolutely, man, and good luck with the prostate.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
So Dave would like to plug his prostate.
Yes.
Hey, Bob, you gotta get your prostate examined. You gotta look at prostate milking.
Okay,
yeah.
I will.
Are you volunteering?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm good. I like women too much.
Good.
To each your own.
Dude, thank you so much for thinking of me today and having me on. I can't wait to pop on again.
Hell yeah, man. This has been great. 3 hours and 10 minutes. That's how long we've been going.
We could go fucking longer, man. We could go longer.
Oh, we hit the Joe Rogan.
Bobby, look at his eyes are closing.
We hit the Joe Rogan time right now.
Next time I'm going to pop the book open and read from it in its entirety.
Well, I would definitely like to read that book, man. And I love, I mean, I appreciate anybody who's a writer and stuff like that and who's, that's so cool, man. And you're right for censor.tv as well, right?
Yeah, but that's not important.
What do you mean that's not important?
I write the news for censored.tv, but it's one of those things like,
it's copywriting.
Check it out, get your news from there and whatever. But
copywriting?
Yeah, mostly. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's not really like, oh, here's my opinions or how I saw it. It's more just like straight up news. So if you want to get your news, go to Censor TV, and there's all sorts of cool shows on there. And Gavin's on there, Milo's on there, and whatnot. So go check that out.
Loomer's on there?
Ew. How dare you?
Well, she's on there, right?
It's like, yes. We also have a filthy donkey witch in a cage who's on there. And a lot of stuff goes on there. So, but I mean, like I said, mostly the thing I'm doing, because my whole thing that I really came to Jesus with this past 4 years is if you want anything for yourself, you have to put it out yourself. And you have to fucking make it happen yourself, which is why the whole American Ways thing, like I'm getting together some really talented people and good artists to sell their comic books, to sell their books, to sell their DVDs, their music and whatever. Cool people who have open minds, who fucking don't just go, oh, you have to be progressive to fucking do shit on my site. I want to just have anyone who's good. I don't give a shit.
I like that.
Politically,
that's awesome, man.
I want to have good people. That's it.
I'm glad we're connected, Paul. That's so cool. Hell yeah,
man.
Fuck
sure. Yeah. So yeah, are we? I guess we're done.
Proud of your boy.
Uhuru, brother.
Uhuru, brother. Dude, it's been great having you on, man. Thank you very much. Bobby Pickles Podcast, baby. That's it. And we are out.
Nice. Thank you, man.
He always says that's cool. With that look on his face, we'll talk about anything.
Hey, we got definitely do
T-shirts, politics, history, and hot sauce on everything.
Wait, I'm
Pickles, pop culture, documentaries, conspiracy theories, sarcasm, and fear. It's a conversation, start listening, cause we're all here.
Yeah, Bob.
That's me.